Okay, guys. So the next question I'm going to look at, the next variance I'm going to be looking at is the variable overhead variance. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but really, right, these variances, let me kind of give you a picture of what is really going on. I mean, so far we've been discussing it, and a picture is kind of sometimes just helpful to see what's happening. Now, say for example, we said that that we expect something. We have a standard. Our standard is that labor will cost, or say material will cost £5, and we will need 1,000 kilograms. So for example, say we're making, I don't know, 200. We actually make. You see, because everything is about what you actually make. This is the key point here. I'm not interested in what the budgeted number of units are. I'm interested in what the actual number of units are. So when I know what my standard costs are, well, if it's £5 a kilogram, and I need 5 kilograms to make a unit, well, I'll need 1,000, won't I? And I'm spending £5. So if I need 5 kilograms to make a unit, 5 kilograms to make 1 unit, if I'm making 200 units, I expect to use 1,000 kilograms, and I'm spending £5 a kilogram. So if you like, that's the standard cost. That's what I expect the standard cost to be for 200 kilograms. Let me use a different pen. Now, I mean, I'm just gonna use use a different pen here. Now, what actually happens is different. We're still focused on 200 units. What actually happens in the process of making 200 units? Well, sorry, this would be 200 units. This is 1,000 kilograms. What actually happens is you might actually have used more kilograms. So you might have used, say, 1,200 kilograms, right? And you might have spent £6 on each kilogram. So this is what actually happens right here. This is what actually happens. So I'm making this as a separate video just before I move on, and it's kind of important. I don't tend to do it very much when we're doing the actual when we're actually doing the labor material variance. I don't think I really need to, because I think in a way you can think about it as long as you know why you're doing it. That's the key point. Our focus is on the 200 units. Now I emphasize, if they said, oh, the budget was to make 300 units, irrelevant. Those are my standard. I've got my standard cost card. £5 we expect to spend a kilogram, and 5 kilograms per unit. So 5 kilograms per unit, making 200 units is 1,000 kilograms. So there we are. But this is what actually happens. If you're asked the question, what is the volume variance? What is the volume variance? You're going to focus on this. Right? The question was about volume. No one is ignoring price, but the question is about volume. So you would say, well, that's the difference in volume. You'll use 200 more times the standard price. That's the area. That's the area of volume. Then let me go over here. Let me just bring in. No, sorry. Let me use a different color here. And let's know what is this? This is black. This is red. What's this? This is gray. Okay. So now here, this is the difference in price. This is the price variance, and this holds right across every single thing we bought, didn't it? Right? So that's the price variance, the difference in 6 and 5 times what you actually bought. Well, when I say what you actually bought, 1,200 kilograms, right? So it's 6 minus 5 times 1,200 kilograms. So, if you're kind of looking for this formula, because I'm not a fan, it doesn't matter. This 1,000 kilograms is what we call standard quantity. 1,200 kilograms is what we call actual quantity. This £5 is what we call standard price. This £6 is what we call actual price. Now, if someone said to you, what's the price, what's the efficiency variance? You would say, well, it looks pretty straight, right? That is standard price minus, efficiency variance. You will say, well, it doesn't matter. In this case, actual quantity minus standard quantity times standard price, right? Because that's the standard price. And if someone said to you, what's the price variance? Well, you would say actual price minus standard price times actual quantity. Right? And that's how we would look at this. Now let me just expand this out a little. I've said that this is our efficiency variance. This thing right here is our efficiency variance, isn't it? Because we've said actual quantity minus standard quantity. So what is this? If I expand this out, this is SPAQ minus SPSQ, which is why this whole thing I don't like talking about using the word very often, but this idea of SPAC minus SPSQ. Now, if you're looking for the price variance, you would expand this and you would say, let me just get rid of this so I have some space. You would say APAQ minus SPAQ. So I mean, you can see I have SPAQ here twice, which is why we usually just leave it as this: APAQ, SPAQ, SPSQ. And we call this the price variance, and we call this the efficiency variance. So that's the relationship to these formulas that I sometimes drop and let you have. And so there's a picture of what you can see. And it doesn't matter, it applies. I mean, if you can see how this works, it doesn't matter if the volume goes in and this comes down. This holds, this idea holds. And then the last thing I want to say is this question of volume. So far, the argument is we can focus on volume first, see what the volume variance is, and then we can see the price variance. So focus on volume first, and then we can see the price. And if you like the variance, I'll talk about this in the next video. But the variable, this is variable. I mean, the idea of variable means that it changes with volume, right? So you shouldn't be surprised that the same way material and labor, you can have this type of, we're using more, we're making more units or whatever, the way you can analyze the material and labor, you shouldn't be surprised that you can do that with variable overheads, because they also change with volume. We expect them to change technically, right, with volume. That's what we expect, and possibly with price as well, in terms of the cost of the resource. So in the next video, we'll actually calculate the variable overhead variance, and I'll be on page 45, question 80. Page 45, question 85. Okay, see you then.